Welcome. So let me ask you a question. How do you describe something that's totally beyond words? In this explainer, we're going to unpack a really profound Buddhist text that takes on that exact challenge. It actually tries to name the unnameable, perfect wisdom. Okay, so where are we getting all this from? We're diving straight into a Chinese translation of this classic sutra. It's a text that tries to capture the very essence of enlightenment. Not with complex arguments, but through a list of beautiful, really evocative names. The text kicks off with this incredibly powerful line. And look, it's not just some poetic flourish. It immediately sets the stage by calling wisdom the mother of all Buddhas. Honestly, that one single metaphor, it's the key to understanding everything else that's about to come. And yeah, that brings us to our first big idea here. See, the sutra isn't just giving us a random list of names. It's building a concept from the ground up, and it all starts with this core idea of wisdom as the ultimate source, the very womb from which enlightenment is born.
So what is Prajñāpāramitā anyway? Well, it's a foundational concept in Mahayana Buddhism, and we often translate it as the perfection of wisdom. But listen, this is not about being book smart. It's talking about a transcendent, direct understanding of how reality actually works. It's like, imagine you've been seeing the world in black and white your whole life, and then suddenly you see it in full color. It's that profound.
Okay, so if this wisdom is the mother of all Buddhas, how in the world do you even begin to describe it? Let's get to the heart of the text and see exactly how it tackles this problem. And here's the crucial insight, the really clever part. The text doesn't even try to give one single perfect definition. Instead, it takes this poetic philosophical approach, presenting 108 different names. It's like each name is a different facet of a diamond, right? Each one gives us a new glimpse of a single inexpressible truth.
And that number, 108, it's not random, not at all. It's a deeply significant number in many Eastern traditions. In this sutra, it symbolizes a sense of completeness. It's like it represents the total array of wisdom's qualities, leaving no aspect unexplored.
The list kicks off with these grand, sweeping terms: supreme perfection of wisdom, all knowledge. I mean, it's making a really bold statement right from the jump. This isn't just one kind of knowledge, it's the ultimate, all-encompassing understanding that pushes to the very limits of reality itself. And this is what I find so brilliant. Just look at the scope here. This mother doesn't just give birth to Buddhas, it gives birth to bodhisattvas, to all other spiritual seekers. It's a nurturing, generative force that doesn't just create enlightenment, but it actively nourishes and upholds all worlds. It's huge. Okay, but this is where things get really interesting. The names start to shift from these beautiful, creative metaphors to some seriously deep, philosophical concepts. The text just dives headfirst into the nature of reality itself. You know, there's this really cool technique the text uses. Philosophers sometimes call it the negative way. Instead of telling us what wisdom is, a lot of the names tell us what it is not. And it's such a clever way to help us dismantle our rigid, preconceived ideas about existence, clearing the way for a much deeper kind of understanding. For example, the text describes this wisdom as both not annihilated and not permanent. This carves out a middle path. It steers us away from the two extremes of thinking that either things last forever or they just vanish into nothing. It's pointing to a reality that's so much more fluid and dynamic than that. And this leads us to one of the most famous and, let's be honest, most misunderstood concepts in Buddhism: emptiness, or kung. Now, it is absolutely crucial to understand this does not mean nothingness. Think of it like a wave in the ocean. A wave isn't separate from the ocean, right? It's just a temporary form that the ocean takes. In the same way, emptiness means that nothing has a fixed, separate existence on its own. Everything is interconnected and interdependent. And the text doesn't just, drop this huge idea on you and walk away. It breaks it down with incredible nuance. It talks about the emptiness inside our own minds, the emptiness of the external world, and even the emptiness of emptiness itself. And in a way, this deep interconnectedness brings us full circle, right back to that mother of all Buddhas. Wisdom isn't some separate creator. It is the unified, empty reality from which everything is born. Okay, so we have these 108 names, all these profound philosophical ideas. But what if there was a way to connect with this wisdom that went beyond just your intellect? Well, the sutra thinks so, and it actually offers us a path. Which, of course, leads to the big question, right? This is all amazing, but how do you actually practice it? How do you take these abstract names and make them a real part of your own experience? Well, the sutra's answer is something called a Dhāraṇī, a series of sacred syllables, kind of like a mantra. In this tradition, it's not just a prayer, it's considered the sonic embodiment of the wisdom it describes. The idea is that the sound itself is the wisdom, vibrating into existence. Now, what's really cool is that what you're looking at right here is a fragment of the Dhāraṇī itself. Those sounds, like Om Prajñe Prajñe, are Sanskrit syllables that have been written out using Chinese characters. The whole idea is that reciting them is a direct, experiential way to invoke and realize this perfect wisdom, not just to think about it, but to actually feel it. All right, let's bring it home. Let's move to our final section and look at the payoff. What does the text explicitly promise to people who engage in this practice? What are the results of working with these names and the sacred sound? The promise is laid out, plain and simple. If you constantly recite this, it's said to have a purifying effect, clearing away karmic obstacles. And beyond that, it aligns you with the enlightened ones, earning you the praise of all Buddhas. So really, the bottom line from the sutra's practical advice is this. The benefit you get isn't just large, it's immeasurable. It goes beyond ordinary calculation, suggesting that a truly profound transformation is possible through this practice. And so, this explainer ends right where the sutra began, with a simple question that is just bottomless. The text gives us 108 answers, sure, but it also leaves us with the feeling that the real answer is an ongoing discovery, one that we're all invited to make for ourselves. Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration of a truly fascinating and layered sacred text. I really hope it's given you a clearer picture of its profound wisdom.